Last week I interviewed Antoine Dodson.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, that's the dude that used to be gay.
Hide your wife,
Hide your
kids.
wife. Yeah.
They're raping everybody.
Right.
Here's an interesting little tidbit about Antoine Dodson. You know that they took that interview and turned it into a song called the Bed Intruder song.
Yeah, I saw it.
That song went platinum.
Right, I know.
That actually became a song that was like, charting on iTunes, right?
The song, it did go gold, and that was a couple of years back, but I had received the Platinum Record Award in the mail last year because it had went platinum. So I'm like, wow, this song went platinum on an accident. Imagine what I could do on purpose. And that's why I started going into the studio, writing my upcoming album. It comes out at the end of the summer, and it's called On Purpose.
So you got some paper out of that, which is crazy. Like, you was just
doing an interview.
in a news interview, and somehow you
Right.
pioneered. And see, that's kind of the beauty of the internet too. Like, people pioneer shit out of nothing into something.
The beauty of the internet, and I was just talking to Edgar about this, one of my employees about this the other day, was that now the people, for the first time ever, decide what's celebrity and what's popular. You don't have a small number of gatekeepers called media outlets deciding, well, we're going to promote this, but not promote this. So whatever is popular, now the media outlets have to chase that, as opposed to the other way around.
Well, I still think it's both.
It's a little of both.
It's still, you still got motherfuckers out here who's trying to dictate what you should like and what you should think and all of that. But the thing about the internet is,
Vlad TV included.
right? But the thing about the internet is, certain shit organically pops up that nobody expected it to do any kind of thing or whatever, and that's when the people's voice kind of comes into play. But there's always going to be motherfuckers out there who think they're manipulating your view and your perception of something and all of that.
Certain voices are always going to be louder than others.
Right.
So this brings me to my point of this conversation. Antoine Dodson was never bisexual. He was gay. At one point in time, he decided not to be gay anymore. He got a girlfriend. They're now raising a son together. I guess the son was actually there during the interview. And he says that he's no longer a gay man. He is now a straight man. So we got into this whole conversation.
I first realized that I was gay like in first or second grade. I was looking at other boys in school rather than looking at the girls. And, after a while it kind of suppressed. But when I got older, like close to my teen years, I got raped. I was snatched up from a little grocery store, a corner store, and he pulled me to the back of the store and raped me on the side of some garbage cans, some city dumpsters. So I think that's what sparked it back up. And, also living with my mom and my sister and my grandmother, I kind of picked up their habits. You know what I'm saying? So that's what sparked this whole gay thing. My sister, she's in her emotions, my mama in her emotions, my grandmother in her emotions. I kind of got caught up in that.
So, before that happened, were you into men at all, or were you into girls?
Before that happened, I really wasn't into nothing because I was young. My mother and them, they always made me focus on school and stuff like that. So I never really got into the lifestyle heavily until my teenage years.
Because there's always there's a very long-standing debate, in the gay community of, are you gay because you're born that way, or are you gay because of certain events that happen in your life? Now, from your point of view, based on this, do you feel that, you became gay because of this, because of the rape?
From my point of view, I don't believe, I can't say that being gay, you're born that way, because you're not. That was a choice for me and I may have been born into it, but I was not born gay. And meaning that I had already had sisters around me. So growing up with a whole bunch of females, that already triggered like, oh yeah, he's gonna have some of these women ways, some of these girl ways, which I did. And even today, I'm still got feminine ways, you know what I'm saying? But I still handle mine as a man. So to that question, no, it's you're not born that way. That's just a choice to celebrate sexuality.
This goes to the heart of the argument of, the gay platform will never actually accept that type of thinking, because to them, you are born gay, you have no choice in the matter, and you should be treated no differently than someone that is born Chinese or born black or born whatever. Whereas the way that this formerly gay man is presenting it is, it's a choice, just like being Muslim is a choice, or being Jewish, or or whatever else that you're into, and you can make the choice not to do that as well.
Exactly. See, people say there might be, oh, I tried to repress it, but it was always in the back of my mind. Like, how many people might have the fantasy in the back of their mind that they want to kill people? They want to kill somebody, but they don't act on it.
I mean, I smoke weed most days, but I wasn't born that way. I started smoking weed at one point. I kind of liked it. Over the years, I got a little more comfortable with it, and once I moved to Cali, it became more of my lifestyle and so forth. And it is what it is. I can't blame smoking weed on something inherent in my DNA. Now, you could say that maybe addiction, certain people are more addicted to certain substances than others. But if someone never tries crack, they can live and die their whole lives without trying crack and never really even open that door.
Let's just assume that it is a choice. What's so horrible about that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Why can't you admit that it's a choice? That you made this choice of how to live your life?
I think that the one thing that also isn't discussed very much is that, for example, this Antoine Dodson situation.
The molestation part.
I think that if you do look at a lot of people who are gay and lesbian, you do see that pattern in a lot of people. I'm not going to say everyone, but you can't say it's 100% for anything when it comes to humans.
Listen, I just saw an episode of Catfish not long ago, right? And this dude, little Indian kid, he was boxing or something, like, and he getting catfished by a broad. It turns out it was a dude, you know what I mean? Little Spanish looking dude or whatever, and he was gay or whatever. But in his mind, he wasn't even sure he was gay, right? So when they finally talked about the kid's story, he ended up being molested by his teacher when he was young, and blah, 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 blah. And he went on to say, he was mad at the teacher for doing that to him, because maybe if that wouldn't have happened, he could have been basically a regular person. He could have been the son that his mother and father wanted and all that type. That's the type of shit he was saying. Mm-hmm. So it's not always that. Sometimes it's a combination of things. We don't even look at what was in the father's thoughts and the mother's thoughts while the baby was in gestation. Matters. What kind of diet was the mother on during the pregnancy? What are you giving the baby when it comes out? Are you giving it breast milk, or are you giving it the formula? Okay? Who knows what's in the fucking formula? With these fucking vaccines that they give you. What's in the fucking vaccines?
Well, my close friend, my son, was just in Chicago, where he met with Louis Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he mentioned to me during that, he had dinner with Farrakhan. And one of the things that he said that Farrakhan told him during this conversation was that, and Farrakhan was 100% convinced about this, is that certain foods will make you gay. And
there's proven to be estrogen lined within canned goods. Now, just like I said, you put somebody in a room, some people are not going to be affected by that, and a certain percentage are going to be affected by it.
So, do you think that there can ever be an honest conversation about that with a gay and lesbian and transgender community of the ties between rape and molestation and homosexuality?
No, because look how taboo rape and molestation is. Like, it's easier to say, I was born this way, than to admit that you were raped by Uncle Scotty, when you were 3. That's so painful right there to even talk about. That brings up all kind of worms within the family, within all kind of shit. For those that believe in reincarnation, well, let's think about the science of coming back, not just, so you can come back as different genders, right? And sometimes people flip back and forth too frequently. Some people have a preference for a gender, even in reincarnation, okay? So now, you might have a flipper who likes to go back and forth, boy, girl, boy, girl. Now they come back to a life and they feel the impression of a woman from their last life. You see, we have impressions. If you study, things of these nature, and if you believe things like this, then you're going to have impressions from other lives, okay, put on you. So these are also things they can be feeling too, and misunderstanding them, okay? There's also something called aura infringement, where living in big cities is not good, because all of this stacking of energy, we're too close to each other, and our auras are fucking with each other, and that can cause problems, okay?
No, I mean, I definitely feel better, now that I live in California in a house without neighbors that are very close to me. I definitely feel overall better than being in a high-rise apartment completely surrounded from every
that's
side.
a science. That's why they do it to you, to keep you fucked up. And some people's going to short circuit in different ways.
Do you know what the most valuable company in the world is?
No.
Apple.
Okay.
And the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, has admitted to being gay. So you now have a gay man running the most valuable company in the world.
Right. Now, what little subliminal things might he put into all things that he does to promote his politics? That's what people do. They use their money to promote their politics, and whatever their politics are is what you're going to see and what they deal with.